Shabbat Shalom. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday or Friday, wherever you are located in the world. I want to talk to you guys just for a little while on the great debate that's going on surrounding the Los Angeles and surrounding areas, forest fires that have ravaged the area. We've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it in my 55 years of being on the earth. I've never seen anything like it. And I made some posts. I posted some things that pretty much stated that Los Angeles and America as a whole is under the judgment of Almighty Yah. And of course, you see the destruction, you see the signs all around you. Not just the forest fires that's going on in LA, but there's been a lot of natural disasters. There've been a lot of different things that's been going on inside of the United States in the past maybe 30 days or longer, that lends itself to the fact that America is under judgment, and, for years, do you understand? I have the advantage of having been around for a little while, and I've seen some things, and I've been saying for at least a decade that America was going to be under judgment. I was saying that America was going to be under judgment before I really started awakening to who I am and who we are as a people. But if you know the word of Almighty Yah, if you have the Ruach HaKodesh, also known as the Holy Ghost, He will reveal His word to you and explain to you what it means when you read it. Plus, He will show you things that's going on all around you. And He will decipher and give you the interpretation and the meaning of those things and the revelation behind those things if you have ears to hear what the Most High Yah is saying. And it's amazing to me that America is under judgment and it's debating amongst themselves. Not me, because I don't debate with anybody. But they're debating amongst themselves of whether or not they're under judgment. And the signs of judgment is like you are living in the signs of judgment while the house is burning down all around you, while the ship, the Titanic, is sinking and the water is pouring into the windows and under the doors, and the ship is submerging while the boat is sinking. You still say, I know the boat is sinking, but this doesn't mean that we're under the judgment of Yah. You're in the house. The house is burning down all around you. You're not able to breathe. Everything that you worked so hard for and sacrificed so much for is being destroyed all around you. I know the house is burning down all around me, and I can hardly breathe, but that doesn't mean that I'm under the judgment of Almighty Yah. It's incredible to me that you can be in the midst of judgment and destruction and still, while you have time to repent, while you have time to be like, hey, maybe this is judgment. Maybe this is a good time to repent. Maybe this is a good time to come clean with Almighty Yah and to be real. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to sit there and argue until you take your last breath. You're going to sit there and argue amongst yourselves until the Most High Yah has to send stronger judgment to let you know that He means business, that He's not playing. And then I hear people, oh, but God is a God of love, and he would never destroy, and he would never ever send judgment. And why are you so evil? And why are you so bitter? It's not me. I'm not evil. I'm not bitter. I'm just telling you what the Most High Yah been telling me. And now he's telling you. He's been trying to tell you, but you have not been listening. So now he has to start speaking. People are like, well, only God can judge me. Well, he's doing it now. Only God could judge you. You've been saying it forever. Well, now God is judging you. Yahuwah is judging America. And you still reject or try to reject even the judgment of Almighty Yah. And you can't. You cannot do it. You could be in denial that it's happening and it's unfolding all around you. But you can't act like it's not there. That's crazy, right? LA, the home of Hollywood. Hollywood, the home of every perversion. All propagation of every perversion and wickedness that has been pumped and programmed into every living room, now into every electronic device, not just televisions anymore, phones, tablets, laptops, computers, smart TVs, dumb TVs, or whatever you want to call them. Hollywood that's pushed wicked agendas, into the minds and hearts and spirits of people worldwide. Hollywood. One of the very first films that Hollywood ever came out with and released in theaters was Birth of a Nation in 1915. Do you know what that movie was about? That movie was about racism. Post-Civil War America. White people pretty much being afraid for their nation and for their lives and for their livelihood because post-Civil War, there was no more slavery. What are we going to do? We don't have any more slaves. Oh my gosh. What is this country going to do? This country is going to go to ruin. White people, white actors in blackface. Go look it up on YouTube. Birth of a Nation, 1915. That's Hollywood. From its inception, has been a wicked, diabolical, evil entity that has pumped nothing but garbage and sin and crimes against humanity and perversion and greed and envy and all manner of evil into all homes worldwide. They've impacted and influenced other entertainment industries in other countries. So much so, like here in Nigeria, there is such a thing called Nollywood with an N. Why? Because they emulate everything American here. Except I will give it to them that Nollywood doesn't pump out the perversions like Hollywood. And they have spiritual movies that give spiritual lessons. So I'll give them that. So that's why what's happening to Hollywood is not going to happen to Nollywood. But to show you the impact and the influence that American entertainment has worldwide and how it's had poisoned so many lives. And that's just the stuff that we've all seen and paid money to go and view and fed on all our lives. We are just beginning to learn what's happened or what's been happening behind the scenes in Hollywood. Wickedness, child sacrifice, child sex trafficking, human trafficking. All kind of wickedness. To fuel and feed the demonic organization and industry that is known as Hollywood. And it has a seat right in LA County. And there are people that have their homes and their mansions. And they got those mansions and they got those homes not from hard work, but from doing evil, wicked things, or from not reporting the evil, wicked things that they saw going on all around them. They got their riches. They got to keep their riches. They got to have $1 million homes and fancy luxury cars while they knew that children were being molested and killed. While they knew that evil, wicked things was going on within Hollywood. And they said nothing. They're just as guilty and they're compliant in the evil as the perpetrators that are being exposed now. But America isn't under judgment. Come on. Really? You really believe that? You really want to argue and debate while the house is burning down, while the embers are still burning on those pictures of your loved ones that probably was in the KKK. Probably some KKK robes was burnt in some of those fires too. That was hidden in the back of the closet. But Yahuwah isn't judging America? How can you even argue? This is no argument. There's no debate. That's a crazy thing. And then there's some people, oh, well, it wasn't just rich white people that suffered and lost things. They had the first black middle class neighborhood in Altadena and other black people lost too. I know. And at first glance, that will seem to be a sad thing. But I'm going to tell you something. Yahuwah loves his people. We're his people, okay? And the word says that warning comes before destruction. Yahuwah is always going to give his people a heads up when he's about to do something to the wicked. And he believes that it's going to affect you. He's going to always, it is the nature of Yahuwah that he will warn you. He will tell you when danger is lurking. He's like, look, get out of here. He did it for Sodom and Gomorrah. He did it for Lot and his family. So I said, man, I'm about to rain fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. You and your family need to get out of Sodom and Gomorrah. ASAP. Yahuwah gave a heads up to Lot. And Lot wasn't even like the most obedient person. But Yahuwah gave him warning to get him and his family out. And Lot listened. He obeyed and he started moving. Now Lot's wife, we all know what happens with her. Okay? But that is the nature of Almighty Yah. So I'm saying all that to say this. I know most of those people, if not all of our people that was in harm's way in LA County were given warnings. Just by nature of the fact that I know the nature of Almighty Yah. He's going to warn his people. He's going to give you signs that it's time to move. It's time to flee. Yes. He's going to give that to you. Why? Because he loves you and he doesn't want to see you in harm's way. So a lot of our people that suffered in this had warning signs that they needed to get out. But they disobeyed Almighty Yah. Well, no, how can you say that? You don't know that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, let me tell you something. Altadena, California, supposedly the first black middle class neighborhood. Black people have always wanted ownership, land ownership, home ownership. That is a black American dream. a tangent of the so-called American dream that America has pushed for so long, which is nothing but an American nightmare. But I digress. Okay? So, because of the history of our people not having a land and a home, we've always sought land and sought a home where we were. And for many black Americans, hence the term, America is all that they know. They've been born and raised in America. So if you're born and raised in America and you don't even have a mindset to think outside of America or American, or you deny the fact, yes, I said fact, that you are descendants of slaves. You are descended from the continent. You may not have came to America as slaves, but you are descended from the continent. DNA doesn't lie. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. So for whatever reason, our people, Black Americans, worship land and home ownership. It has become an idol and a god, an Elohim, to many of our people. And once we get a hold of that, we will fight for it. We will, in some cases, according to the forest fires in LA, die to try to preserve land or homes. And we don't even understand that that's not a flex. That's not a thing. That's not something to applaud or be proud of. You see, we are Yasharel. We are Yah's people. And Yah's people have always been migrants. You hear me? We always stay flexible. We always moved when Yah say move. Read your word. When the Ark of the Covenant, we always stayed flexible. And when Yah gave the word to move, we moved. When we were persecuted in one area, we migrated to another. If you do your DNA analysis, get your DNA tested, find your migration patterns. We have strong migration patterns. More so, I propose than most people. Why? Why did we migrate so much or so far? Yes, some of it was due to slave trades with an S, but a lot of it was because of religious persecution, which you call Christianity was used as a yoke to bind up Yasharel. Look up the Inquisition. Look up what they did to Yah's people, supposedly to evangelize them to Christianity. Right? The Roman Catholic Church. They've done some wicked, evil things in the name of religion, trying to make people Catholic, Christian. So we always had to migrate. We were a migratory people. And Black Americans, I guess, say, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I just want to own land and home here because my people built this land and built this country and did this and did that. That sounds really, really good, but it really is stemmed out of a spirit of greed, a spirit of fear, and a spirit of rebellion and disobedience. Because that's not our nature. That's not who we are. That's not who, it's in our DNA. We're not supposed to worship lands and homes and cars or money. We're supposed to be flexible. We're supposed to be ready to move. Whenever y'all say move, just move. Don't let nobody sit there and torment you and you go back and forth with people. Oh, you're running out of fear. And you're teaching flea doctrine and you got to do this. You got to. Those are the people that worship their houses. They worship their lands. They worship their cars. Those are the people like that 66-year-old guy that lost his life trying to save a house that he knew was gone. He knew that house was gone. And like I said, all of those people that had melanin in their skin that were affected by this, they had the command to flee. They had a chance to get out. Even if it meant selling their home and moving somewhere else. They had the chance. I promise you. But they chose not to. Why? Because they were greedy, they were scared, they were conditioned and programmed that American life is the only life that's available for us as people of African descent, that we can't survive nowhere else except inside of the Americas. They've programmed you. They took you from your land. They took you from your people. They stole your name. They stole your name from you. They stole your religion. They stole your memory of your lineage. And now you really believe that you actually descended from America. And now America is the Titanic and it's sinking. And there are a lot of us, a lot of people that look like us that's going to die with the ship, sink with the ship, because they worship their belongings. They worship what America has so-called given them, or what they worked so hard to get. Not even realizing that no matter how hard you work for whatever you have in America, it will always be just a fraction of what the people that really have wealth own. And even those people lost stuff. So I can't feel too sorry for people that chose to stay. It's just like what happened with Katrina. And yes, I was affected by Katrina. I lost everything I owned in Katrina. I was separated from my children as a aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. My family didn't know if I was dead or alive. Okay? But there were people that chose to stay inside of New Orleans. And they were given the warning. Even in they couldn't afford to evacuate. They sent some help afterwards. And those people, after they were sent help, they still chose to stay. And some of those people, died with those houses in the ninth ward. Because they were, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. And the Father told you to leave. I wasn't separated because I stayed behind in New Orleans. I did leave. But I left too late. And so I ended up driving through Katrina, which was really crazy and traumatic. And it's just by the grace of Almighty Yah that we all survived. But I won't get into that right now. But I left. Do you understand? I mean, they got warning. They just chose to stay. They got a nudging. They had a dream. Sell your house. Go here. And they said, nah, that wasn't God. I'm not doing that. This house has been in the family for 100 years. I know plenty of black people that left the West Coast. There was a lot of people from New Orleans that evacuated to California after Katrina. And guess what? They were like, nah, we're not staying here. And they left. Why? Because they got the word from Almighty Yah that says it's time to go. I know things happen and you got here, but you need to leave here now. And they didn't. And because they refused, they were rebellious. I like this West Coast living. Oh, I got this big old house now. big old house that you can't afford, with the light bills you couldn't afford and the water bills you couldn't afford. So the father was like, okay, I gotta smoke everybody out. And it's unfortunate. It's horrible when our people have to suffer judgment along with the wicked. But I promise you, knowing the nature of Almighty Yah, He gave warning. People have been awakening to who we are for at least the past 5 years, 6 years now, if not longer. And I promise you, along with this awakening has been marching orders. It's been a still small voice that's been telling you it's time to go. And you didn't listen. They didn't listen. They did not listen. They let their family and their friends, the comfortability of being comfortable in captivity, they let all of that lull them into a false sense of security. And that's just like it, that just is what happens. It's like when you have crawfish in a pot. You know how crawfish don't really fight? If you ever boil live crawfish, just put them in a bucket, put them in a pot with room temperature water or even cold water, and just turn the fire on. And they'll just sit there. They'll be chilling like, oh yeah, we swimming, we enjoying stuff. And then as the water gets hotter, then they start jumping. And they're like, hey, this water hot. This water is hot. And before you know it, they're boiled to death. And they didn't even, it didn't hit them until it was too late. That they stayed in the water too long. It was trapped. And a lot of our people are going to go down with the ship because they love being in captivity. They love the comforts of Babylon. Instead of trusting Almighty Yah that He will take care of you and He will protect you and you will not be stranded and He got you and He will protect you and He will guide you. Because that's what He's always done with us. We don't listen to Him. We don't obey Him. So, in a sense, I kind of feel bad for our people, but I kind of don't. Because the people that are suffering along with Babylon are people that chose to stay in Babylon. Now, if you didn't choose to stay, if you for some reason you don't really have a means to go anywhere right now, you just really, really, really stuck out, or you just have some situations that's going on where you can't leave, then Almighty Yah will protect you. And He will eventually get you out too. He will protect His people that have a desire to be obedient and want to do what He say, but can't. And He will make a way of escape for them. I promise you He will. But to those people that's put it in their heart, that have it in their heart, I'm not going nowhere. This is my home. That's not from the Almighty Yah. He gonna let you sink with the Titanic. He's gonna let you suffer with Babylon. Judgment. And you got melanin in your skin and you the people. But because you won't do what He say, I can't feel sorry for you. Just because they have melanated people that struggled and suffered along with the judgment doesn't mean that this is not judgment, and does not mean that the Most High Yah is not judging America. Oh yes, He is judging America. America has done wickedly, especially to us as a people. Come on. They do evil and wicked to their own people, their own children. They are evil, wicked people. Wicked, evil country. Those who have ears to hear, please hear what the Almighty Yah is saying. America is under judgment. If you belong to Almighty Yah, you will be okay. He will protect you and your family. He will make a way of escape for you and your family. But he will still judge America. He judged Sodom and Gomorrah. And Yahuwah is faithful. He's a just Yah. The blood that cries from the ground of all the people that have died unjustly on American soil. All the children that have been sacrificed on American soil. Yahuwah he has to avenge all of that. All of that. He has to judge it. He has to. He judged Sodom and Gomorrah. He has to judge America. And he is judging America. Don't let your preachers and your prophet cheerleaders at these church services / pep rallies lie to you and tell you otherwise. You be blessed in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach and do what he said to do. It's for your own safety and protection.